Good morning everyone. Welcome to the lecture number 2 of chapter 11, Human Eye and the Colorful World. In this video lecture, we are going to study what is power of accommodation and why do we have two eyes for vision and not just one. So, we were on this paragraph that damage to or malfunctioning of any part of the visual system. It means in visual system, if any of the part becomes impaired, means any damage occurs, then we can have the visual impairment, means we will not be able to see anything. So what parts can be damaged? Like cornea, pupil, eye lens, aqueous humor, vitreous humor, or those responsible for conversion of light to electrical impulse. What are these? These are the light sensitive cells. If they get damaged, then also we will not be able to see anything. And if optic nerve is damaged, then also we will have visual impairment. So now next thing is, then when we enter into the bright light, what happens? When we enter from bright light to a room with dim light, what happens? After some time, we are able to see the things in dim lit room also. Why it happens? Because the pupil of an eye acts like a variable aperture whose size can be varied with the help of iris. It means iris can maintain the size of pupil. It can adjust the size of pupil so that when the light is bright in the room, then less light will enter into the eyes because iris will contract. It will become small. So less light will enter into the eyes when the light is very bright outside the eyes, because more light will enter into the eyes then and the eyes may damage also. And when the light is dim, then what happens? Iris expands and the pupil allow more light to enter into the eyes. It means, what is the function of iris? It controls the size of pupil, that when light is bright outside, it contracts the pupil. So less light will enter into the eyes, and when light is dim outside, then pupil will allow more light to enter into the eyes by relaxing the pupil. It means pupil will relax. It will open completely and more light will enter into the eyes. So we are able to see in the dim room also. So this part is very, very important. Then this you have to learn that when light is very bright, iris contracts, it will become short and less light will enter into the eyes. When light is dim outside, then it will expand and the pupil will open more and more light will enter into the eyes, and we are able to see in the dim light also. So this is the function of iris, to control the size of pupil, to make it variable aperture, means its size can become less and small also. So this portion is very, very important. This you need to learn. So I hope you have understood this paragraph, that if any part of the eyes get damaged, we can have visual impairment, and how iris maintains the size of pupil. Then next thing is, we will see, that is power of accommodation. Like I have told you that iris can control the size of pupil. So when less light is to be required, then less light enter into the eyes. It is a fibrous jelly-like material. Eye lens is a fibrous jelly-like material. It is made up of jelly, fibers, and it is a jelly-like material, and its curvature can be modified to some extent by the ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles are there. What is the function of ciliary muscles? Its function is to hold the eye lens and to adjust its focal length. I have told you the focal length is to be adjusted of the eye lens so that the image can be formed on retina. Where the image is formed? Image is formed on retina. So the image distance is always constant in our eyes. That is why the focal length of the eye lens is to be adjusted, and that is done with the help of ciliary muscles. So change in the curvature of the eye lens can thus change its focal length. So ciliary muscles will contract and relax to change the aperture, and the eye lens, the shape of the eye lens will be changed and it will change its focal length. So how it happens? When the muscles are relaxed, then the lens become thin. Lens will become thin and the focal length will increase. This you have to learn. When the muscles get relaxed, the lens will become thin and the focal length will increase, and we will able to see the distant objects clearly. Is it understood by all that when muscles get relaxed, the lens becomes thin and focal length increases, and when the focal length is increased, then we can see the distant objects clearly. And when we are looking at the objects closer to the eyes, then what happens? The ciliary muscles will contract. So it means when contraction will be there, it will increase the curvature of the eye lens. The eye lens will become thick and the focal length will decrease, and we are able to see the nearby objects. It means our eye lens is adjusting its curvature, adjusting its focal length, so that we can see the nearby objects also and far away objects also easily. This power is known as power of accommodation. So it is given in this paragraph, the definition of power of accommodation. This you need to learn, and how iris and pupil adjust the focal length and aperture so that we can see the nearby as well as far away objects clearly. Now, this is the definition of power of accommodation. The ability of the eye lens to adjust its focal length is called accommodation. This ability of eye lens, that it can adjust its focal length so that we can see the nearby objects also and far away objects also. This ability is known as accommodation. But there is a limit also. The focal length of the eye lens cannot be decreased below a certain minimum limit. There is a limit. Below that, the focal length of the eye lens cannot be decreased, and that limit is 25 centimeter. It means when the book or any newspaper or anything is at the distance of 25 centimeter from the eyes, then if your eyes are normal, you can see the things easily. So this is the minimum distance at which the objects can be seen most distinctly without any strain, and this distance is called least distance or near point also. So the near point for a normal eye is 25 centimeter. Without strain we can see at this distance, but below that the focal length cannot be decreased, and if the object is nearer than 25 centimeter, there is a strain on our eyes also. So we can see the things blurred. And then there is a far point also, means the farthest point up to which the normal eye can see the objects clearly and distinctly, that is called far point. And the far point for the normal eye is what? Infinity. So the near point is 25 centimeter and far point is infinity for the normal eye. It means a normal eye can see the objects clearly between 25 centimeter and infinity. So this is the range at which the normal eye can see. Now we will learn that one defect is there which happens in the old age. In old age, the crystalline lens becomes milky and cloudy, and that defect, that condition is called cataract, and in which the person can have partial or complete loss of vision, means he will not be able to see things clearly, and this defect can be corrected by cataract surgery. It means in old age the person can have the eye lens becomes milky or cloudy. This defect is called cataract, and this can be corrected by cataract surgery. So this was all about this page, that you have learnt about power of accommodation and how the iris and pupil adjust so that we can see nearby and far away objects clearly. Now next topic is, why do we have two eyes for vision and not just one? There are many reasons, many advantages that we have two eyes instead of one. First point you can underline, that it gives a wider field of view. Wider field of view means we can see the things around us. If we are looking at one thing, we can see the left and right also easily. Means we have the view of 180 degree with two eyes, but with one eye only 150 degree view is there. It means if our one eye is open, we can see up to 150 degree, and if our two eyes are opened, then we can see up to 180 degree. It means it gives a wider field of view. Two eyes give us wider field of view of 180 degree. So this is one of the advantage that we have two eyes. Now next thing is, the ability to detect fainter objects of course is enhanced with two eyes, because we have two eyes, so we have two detectors instead of one. It means the ability to detect the things will be increased obviously. So this is the second point, second reason that we have two eyes. Now Next thing is some animals, usually the prey animals, they have two eyes positioned on opposite sides of their head to give a widest possible field of view. Their field of view is more than us because their eyes are positioned opposite to their heads, but in us the eyes are positioned on in front of our head, so we have less field of view than these animals, these prey animals. And two eyes are in front of our head, this I have told you, and it thus reduces our field of view in favor of what is called stereopsis. So stereopsis means we are not able to judge the depth of anything as the animals can do, and if we shut our one eye, then world looks flat. Flat means two dimensional. It means with one eye we can see the world two dimensional, and if our two eyes are open, it means the world takes its third dimensional, means we can see the world three dimensional. It means this is the third point, that we have two eyes, that we can see two dimensional world with one eye and three dimensional with two eyes, because our eyes are at few centimeters away from each other, so they have slight difference with few centimeters within them. So each eye sees a slightly different image, and brain combines the two images into one, using the extra information to tell us how close or far away the things are. Thank you.